All right, Paul Marie, everybody. Good evening to you all, and welcome back to Stack the Box, episode 7. It's been a few sleeps in between episodes. Long time no see, boys. I'm glad we get to catch up even when we're not recording. Um, but yeah, so here we are. Whew, a week and a half out from the finals, or 2 weeks out from the finals. Now that we finally, hopefully, fingers crossed, all things stay good. And we've just spent the last few days. You guys, all of you lovely viewers out there, you'll see a special episode coming out soon with interviews of reps from each of the teams going on to the finals. So the AFA, Shiraz and the AFA came out with an announcement. At this stage, the finals are going ahead on Saturday, the 20th of March. Let's kick off with let's start with the women's game. My understanding, I think, is going to be the Colts at 10 o'clock, the women at 1 o'clock, and the seniors at 4 o'clock, I think, is the way the day's going to play out. But we'll wait for the AFA to make that official. And let's go in chronicle order. So 10 o'clock, Colts kicking off. We got the Lightning versus the Cats. Have you guys been able to check out any of the Colts games at all this season?
I walked the sidelines of game day a couple of weeks ago. I've seen a few go on, but generally in terms of the Colts competition, with these two going head to head, they've already played twice this season. The Cats and the Lightning. The Cats won both times, but by no more than 3 points each. It was 2, and then the second meeting was 3 points. So talking with both the captains this week, looks like it's going to be a pretty tight game. And if those results anything go by, it should be. Both a couple of excited young fellas, and say that their teams are good to go. So yeah, seems like their season's gone pretty well considering.
Yeah, you managed to get out to any of the Colts games at all this year, Sammy?
No, I haven't. I've done a bit of a lazy one and caught a couple of game vids online, or just little snippets either via Instagram or Facebook. And seen some talented athletes there. Lucky that I know Thomas from Metro that's gone to play for the Lightning. I know he's a bit of an athlete and offers quite a bit for the Lightning. So, and then I've been told, and I've seen via the videos, the footage that I've seen, that the Wildcats are quite big set of boys, and usually that means physicality. So I didn't know that the last 2 games were quite close. So it's good to hear that perhaps from differing styles, either be it one side maybe using strength and size, and the other one using either speed or flair, and just a contest in that. So it sounds like it should be a good final.
Yeah, I reckon the Colts has been probably about as good a competition as we could have gotten through this season, given that there was 4 teams in the competition. The Lightning beat the Raiders twice. The Raiders beat the Wolves every time they played, and lost to the Cats. They had one the weekend that got defaulted from the original level 3 lockdown, and the Lightning missed their game against the Wolves. But ultimately, the final weekend of the Colts competition turned into what would have been pretty much the semifinal anyways, Lightning versus Raiders and Cats versus Wolves. I don't know what the results were for the Cats Wolves game, but the Lightning Raiders game was really close again. Just 2 points in it. And so it was good to see the boys sneak out that win. And the Cats, as you said, they've lost twice to them. The Lightning have lost to the Cats twice this year. And so, here's hoping third time lucky, which, I mean, and that's a very similar story for the Lionesses in the women's competition coming up after that. The women's had a bit of not a raw deal necessarily. I mean, but 3 teams in the competition. I think the Raiders were a little bit slow to get started at the beginning of the season. I'm not really sure what the story was behind that, but the Cats and the Lionesses played each other twice in a row. I don't know if are you guys familiar with the results from those first 2 games?
Yeah, I think Metro got put away twice quite convincingly by the Cats, but I think the second game they may have scored. Lionesses may have scored once or twice, but still it was a convincing win by the Wildcats women, I'm told.
Yeah, so the first one was convincing. The Lionesses scored, I think it was like 52-12 or something like that in the first game. So, very one-sided. But then it was 12-6 the second game, I think the girls told me, in the second game. And so the Lionesses clearly learned a lot in that first game. The girls turned up in game 2. to make it a really good game. And then, man, I think it was 14-12 in the final, or in the semifinal, excuse me, the Lionesses over the Raiders. So that was a fantastic game of football, just back and forth. Man, and like, yeah, somebody who I won't name, but is very dear to all of our hearts in the football community. As I walked off the field, kind of made a comment about how some of those women hit harder than I ever did when I used to suit up, and I don't know why they were surprised by that, because yes, they do.
Yeah, man. For the film I've seen of the ladies' comp this year has been, there's some players in there. Right? They're going really well, actually. So
Yeah.
big ups to the ladies themselves, and then the coaching staffs is putting together, definitely some good stuff, and the players being run well and they're playing hard, so it's real cool to see.
And I guess to jump it back a step, because from a recruiting stage, I know recruiting's hard, man. It's hard for all of us. There's so many options out there for people. Sport numbers in general are going down, blah, 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 blah. But like, do you guys know anything about Colts teams coming out of your clubs next year? Is there any whispers or any hopes or any talk about that? Or
I mean, this, we were lining up to have a good, I think, for a Colts squad again this year, but the move to Ada side put quite a few of the boys off. But we're just gonna, I guess get back onto those fellas and say, look, it's still just football, and there will be, there were talks of it being 11 aside. It ended up being 11 aside, so there would have been sweet. So I think we're going to get a lot of players back, which should be good. Yep. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think an interesting perhaps journey this year, how we've arrived as a club. I'm a little bit on the sidelines, so to speak, but every year that I've been around, Metro's always had fielded teams in every grade, and this year we haven't. So, and then last year we didn't field a juniors team, so we're sort of we're in a transition of, I guess, trying to recuperate or regather our connections into schools, and then obviously some league clubs. We've been very blessed for a long time, and just having a trickle of young players come through, and never had real issues, so to speak, with fielding teams. Whether or not we have a Colts team next year, I'm not sure. There's a couple of them that are the Colts age playing in the seniors, and from my point of view, they slot in quite well, fresh legs, and most of them have been playing for a few years anyway, which is okay to be playing with guys their age, and it's, but I think in part there is some value in younger guys playing up against maybe some men that are a little bit stronger and just test their skill, and maybe rely on technique and speed, which maybe if you've been in the Colts grade for a couple of years, you can maybe plateau and start to coast a bit.
Yeah, only 2 opportunities for young men to step up, young kind of guys to step up against men, and the Village Games isn't far away either, is it? And so going on to that women's idea, what's that say? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that's on par with WrestleMania.
And then looking at sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to jump back. Do we know, since there's no junior grade this year, do we know within the Colts teams there are like a bit of an age range, like guys that may have played juniors but have slotted into teams?
Yeah, so I reckon the Raiders definitely have a few young boys in there that should be playing juniors. We had 3 kids come out to lightning trainings that I looked at them and their parents, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to let your boy register this year. They were between 13 and 15, and I was like, man, it's just not in their best welfare. Tell you what, go to school, get a bunch of friends, let's get you into the flag at the end of this year, and then let's see how many you can recruit from your school to get into to come back for contact after that. But yeah, the Colts is tough this season from a coaching perspective, because we've got some 15-year-old boys and we got some 20-year-old men, and it's a heck of a range. We had a kid get injured on the weekend, and I had no idea he was 16. I thought he was 18. And he was like, man, school. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I've been at some Metro trainings where there's been some smaller size 13, 14-year-olds turn up looking to play, but we don't even have a Colts team as well. So But I know the conversation has been had about flag, which is a nice alternative to have coming up soon. But yeah, I guess an interesting one where you don't have some changes within these grades, and movements happening.
Yeah. And man, yeah. So it'd be good to see a few more clubs. It'd be great to see a junior comp going again next year. But man, I guess well, who knows what the rest of this year is going to bring. And yeah, here's hoping we can get back into that. But going back to the whole 8-a-side, oddly, the women have been playing 9-a-side, which again is a little bit different to the 8-a-side they proposed for the Colts grade. But they seem to be really enjoying it. Just that slightly smaller number of people, but same size field. Is there any whispers down in Hamilton about trying to get a women's team together, Ben?
It's like at this stage with us, probably just rebuilding juniors and Colts for this upcoming season would be, I'd say, well, for myself, a little bit more the focus, but I do know of a couple of ladies around town who have shown some interest in the past, and who will very potentially look to come back and kind of get that going. So I will put the feelers out this off season and see how we go. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's something I'm dead keen to get out at Pakuranga Rugby Club next year, is get a ladies lightning team going up. That'd be great. So hopefully we can increase that competition that's going on, and that's something I'd love to get. So I spoke to Shanice from the Cats and a girl named Taylor playing quarterback for the Lionesses. It'd be great to definitely want to dedicate a podcast to looking at the ladies game too, and just get them on as guests sometime in the near future too, just to get their insights and thoughts too, because of course they know it better than we do.
Right. Yep.
So cool. All right. So then looking at the senior matchup, so the Cats got reps in the Colts grade and the ladies grade. The Lionesses got reps in the ladies grade and in the senior grade. So in the seniors, we got the South Auckland Raiders versus Metro Lions. It doesn't get any more old school than that, really, does it? Two historic clubs battling for it. I like it. And both teams have looked strong this year, but they've only played once this season, I believe. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So unlike the other finals where they played twice, who knows which way this could go? Second meeting could go either way, because they had a really close game, 6-0, I think, to Metro in the first matchup. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So good close game there. Both got big sidelines. Both teams are looking healthy in terms of numbers.
For sure. When the Raiders came down to play the Hawks a couple of weeks ago, there would have been easy 30, 35, players on the sidelines. So they were looking, and that was the treble. So yeah, man. The surprising here was only 6-0. That's it's quite a throwback score as well, isn't it? So see how we go in a couple of weeks. Nice one. How are the boys looking there, Sammy?
Yeah, no, it's good to have a chat to reps from either side. I think one of the things I got out of the Raiders was that because I'd put up some big scores. I think one in particular was the Hawks maybe the week before, but their offense has worked quite well against quite a few teams, and their defense is obviously shut out other offenses. But what I got out of the Raiders rep Tema was that it was a nice little reminder for them. They felt it was a timely little loss and show some chinks in the armor. I had mentioned, or I'd brought up to both of them, going, whilst there's lots of historical matchups between the two clubs and two men's teams, just in recent memory, Metro has lost twice to the Raiders in Kiwibowls in the last 3 years or so. And then this time would be the third showdown. So I'd ask both sides, does that play in any favor? Is that bit of a chip on the shoulder for for Metro? I feel like they're trying to go third time lucky. Tino Meredith, the quarterback, seemed a bit quite cool and just said, they just got to do the basics well. When I asked Tema, Tema was just like, oh no, it's a clean slate. They just have to play on the game, play what's in front of them, and then obviously who ends up with the most points wins the game and wins the bragging rights, so to speak, for another year.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's awesome that you brought up that historical fact about, because the other two teams Like you're looking at both teams lost twice to one team in the season. So third time lucky going to the finals. And now here we are with that similar kind of scenario playing out. When you guys think about when you're in a team, if you've beat a team twice in a season by close games and you're playing that team in the final, would you rather be on the team that won twice, knowing that it's difficult to beat a team 3 times, or be on the team that lost twice thinking third time lucky? Where would you guys rather be?
I love coming in as an underdog all day, every time. So, I mean, just hoping that you make the final after going 0-2 against one squad. It's got to be, you're doing something right somewhere. But yeah, the pressure's on you, man, when you're already, you've already got those 2 wins in the bag, and expectations are definitely higher. I like being a bit under the radar a bit more, for sure.
Yeah, I like Freeman. Don't mind an underdog tag, but in times when I've played in metro teams that have been hot favorites, I think for us, many of us just play with a chip on our shoulders anyway. So find something to sort of bother you and feel like you've got something to prove, even if the cards are in your favor. What about you, Gambo?
Yeah, normally I'm saying I think it's harder to beat a team 3 times than to have won one, lost one. You know what I mean? So yeah, normally I'd rather be in the team that's lost twice, thinking that this is the time that I think it is difficult. When I've been in teams that have beat another team twice, I've certainly had my real, it sits on my radar, and I'm like, okay, well, because people come in going, oh yeah, we've already beat them twice, potentially take them too easily, et cetera, and all kinds of other things start playing out, and then they get disappointed. And so, it was fascinating. At the end of our second game against the Cats, a couple guys, I wasn't really paying attention to the score, and a few people thought we'd only lost by 1, and we went for 2 at the end. And had we made the 2-point conversion, by some people, they thought that was going to be us winning, and they got mad when the refs didn't really give it. And I was like, hey man, that's fine. I said, look, I'll take it. I'll take a 1 or 2 point loss today if it means we're hosting that trophy on finals day. I said, I'm not going to get mad at the refs. I'm not going to get mad at the refs because I've been out on that field too many times and blown calls too. And so I'm not going to get mad at the refs because I know they're not perfect. Yeah. But that was my message to the team, is like, hey man. And then when I found out we lost by 3 and the 2-point conversion didn't matter at all, it all became a bit of a laugh. It was like, who cares?
I think a scoreboard needs to be pretty high on the AFA budget going into next year. It makes a huge difference to energy levels and I guess strategy on the sideline, doesn't it? For sure.
Yeah, it's just it's hard to see those little plastic flip signs from too far away, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure I haven't really riffed too much, Gambo, but coming to Freeman's point, I'm sure, especially down towards the wire, refs just must get nagged so much, going, how much time left and what's the score, ref? It's just
Yep. So I'll be wearing the stripes on during the Kiwibowl. Not the white hat, but definitely be helping out either on a sideline or umpire, potentially back judge. But I like you're saying, Sammy, those last from about halfway, sometimes in the third quarter, people are asking how much time left in the game. You're like, bro, it's still there's a whole other quarter to go, and then
a guy asked 20 times from the same side, just different people. They never heard you say it 2 minutes ago, 30 seconds.
I just refuse to do the game clock for a start. Freeman, how much time is there to go? I don't know, bro. Ask him. I just defer, but should be good, man.
And I've only refed a few games this year, but that's been the best thing is I've been the way back judge on the defense. I haven't even got a pen and paper on me, man. People are like, "What's the score?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm just here to watch pass interference. Just keep running it. Don't have to worry about anything. But yeah. Sweet. So one of the things that I haven't mentioned this, I certainly wasn't going to bring it up in my interviews, but it is a concern of mine, is winter sports coming up. Man, it's been a long time between downs for some of these people. People up in Auckland, we couldn't train last week because we were in level 3. We're kicking back into trainings this week, but still no games this weekend. Man, even before our semifinal, some of the boys were coming in banged up from rugby training already. You guys reckon there's any risks of teams not fronting up on finals day, or do you reckon, hey, it's finals day, we're there?
I mean, surely people are going to. I couldn't. If I make a commitment to a team, you got to turn up for every game, let alone a final. Surely is all I say. They're going to have to turn up. Yeah, I mean, I do know that you got your. I just interviewed by the Lightning Colts quarterback who was at rugby training today. So I understand your the concerns for sure. But fingers crossed, everyone gets through unscathed, and it's all everyone's got healthy couple of squads for the finals. Yep.
What do you reckon, Sammy?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess being a one-eyed football sort of diehard, it's hard for me to judge commitment to perhaps others that maybe spread across other sports or other things happening. So I do get it's a final, which I feel most people, it's the crescendo of or the climax of the season, and you want to finish off well, so you want to be there, you want to prioritize your time and your energy to give your best for however long your game is. But everyone's different, and if winter sports has crept up, or be it Polyfest or other things for some kids that might be involved in that, then might start to sway their commitments and being involved in football, even if it is the final.
Yeah, and I guess that stems from a few years ago. The last time I think the Lightning Colts won a championship. I think we were like, the Wolves were fantastic that season, coached by who are the brothers they were? Yeah. And they were doing a great, and they had a massive squad. And then we had a Christmas break, and then we played them in a semifinal after Christmas, and they had 14 boys turn up. And it was just like, oh man, my heart broke for them, because they clearly, like, they were I think they beat us like 20-6 or like 30-14 or something like that. They beat us easily by 2 touchdowns. And the times we played them, I think, not easily, but they beat us by 2 touchdowns. And then to play them in a semifinal and for them to have a quarter of their boys turn up, man, my heart just broke for the coaches and the players that fronted up that day. And I guess maybe that's just, I'm holding on to that, and I'm going, oh man, I hope that's not us in a week's time. But hey, I guess we'll find out on training, I guess, and I hope those other squads, the women sounded confident that all of their women are going to turn up, and yeah, it sounds like both those teams have had good numbers turning up on their sidelines for both games anyway. So here's hoping that the Colts don't get distracted, being young and having lots of other distractions going on potentially. But yeah, here's hoping they all front up. Yeah, so March 20th at Mountfort Park. Come on out. Come see Freeman in his stripes. Sammy making a rare appearance on the sidelines, surely. Yeah.
With my water bottle.
Nice. And then the week right after that, we'll just throw in a quick plug. The week right after that, 26th, 27th of March, Flag Football Nationals. So back into not just an Auckland competition, but I assume teams coming up from Hawke's Bay and Christchurch and Nelson and all those other places that they're gunning that flag football, which is great. So
Gambo, that's the same one that the Lightning won last year.
They did, yeah. That was at Unitech, just before the season started. Yeah, so they're running it again end of March this year. I don't know a whole lot about it, but yeah, we'll find out more. But for those of you that are keeping track, prepare yourselves for that. Start saving up your money. There must be cheap flights coming into Auckland, because I can't imagine many people really want to come here right now. So you must be able to get some good flights.
If they leave now, they get put up in a quarantine hotel, so that's all right. 2 weeks to
That's only for the Australian and Pacific Island teams that want to compete.
Start importing. Yeah, there you go.
Gambo or Freeman, do we know if the Kiwibowl games are still televised or going to be broadcasted via Sky?
So I'm pretty sure that this break is allowing us to do that. That announcement hasn't come out officially again, but yeah, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a bit of Sky footage and some sponsorship going on. Yeah, as soon as we find that out from Shiraz and the AFA, yeah, we'll definitely be able to share that information. But yeah, it could be some pretty good stuff.
I'll have to be on the sideline then.
Yeah.
For the t-shirt cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the mascot suit, man.
Yeah.
No.
Sweet. All right. Well,
We're gonna
anything
make
else
some
you boys want to add?
predictions like we did for flag? Or
What's
we're
that?
too close to the
Ooh,
your coach? Not really a coach.
predictions. All right. I'm going across all three. Unless one of you guys wants to go first.
You can go first.
All right. It would be rude not to. So I'm going Lightning in the Colts final. I'm going to say Lionesses because I'm going for those threes, and I'm going Lions in the senior men's. I'm going for the threes that all have not won any of the two yet and are taking out that third one. That's me.
Nice.
Who's next?
I'd jump in with the Colts, man. I think the Wildcats beat the Lightning for the third time this season. The boys take it out, and we say that the Lionesses. I think from the highlights I've seen of the Metro women's team, they look like they just go hard, man. So yep, they'll take out the women, and then I haven't seen the Metro Lions and their senior men in person this year, but the Raiders just play, they're just big and experienced and play pretty well. I ref them against these Hawks, and yeah, I'm going to say they take out they beat Metro in the final too. Sorry, Sam, but yeah,
Okay.
see how we go.
I'm going to copy Gambo and pretty much go for all the underdogs, which is Lightning in the Colts, Lionesses in the women's, and Metro in the seniors.
There you go. You heard it here first. All right. Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap this up?
That's for me, mate. All good.
Awesome. All right. Stack the Box episode 7 in the books. We'll try not to make it 3 months between this and episode 8. All right. See you later, everybody.